building a crochet business that doesn't have to be overwhelming. It doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to suck away all of your energy and your joy for the passion that you love. I'm losing my words today. All right, today we're talking about building a profitable crochet business and focusing on the essentials and not getting distracted by shiny things that pull you away from your business. So we're talking about the must-haves to build your business without draining your bank account or your energy. So thanks for being here with us today. I'm so happy to see you. Welcome to Crochet Business Chat. My name is Pam Grice, the Crochetpreneur, and I am on a mission to help 100,000 makers build financial freedom through crochet. And we're going to talk about some things today, and I'm so happy to have you here. Be sure to like, subscribe, save this video, and share. When you do any of those things, it helps us to kind of build authority with YouTube and helps them spread the word about our podcast to other makers. So I appreciate any help you offer in that respect. So please say hello and let us know that you're here. I set this up last minute. So, I always come on Monday mornings at 9 a.m. Mountain Time for Crochet Business Chat. But I forgot to tell people that I would be here today because I was too busy hanging out at the North Pole yesterday with my grandson, the North Pole Amusement Park. So we're running a little bit behind this week, but let's get started and talk about what you need to build your crochet business. Now we're going to focus on 4 categories. Those categories are tools for creating your products or your patterns, tools for getting seen, tools for doing the actual selling, and tools for staying connected to your audience. Those are the 4 areas that you need to focus on in your business in order to make sales and have a business. So we're going to talk about each of those categories and the essentials for each of those categories. Now, there are going to be things that you'll say, well, I want to have this thing and I want to have that thing. And remember that wants are different than needs. And we're talking about the things that you need to start your business. And you can add on those wants afterwards as you build up your inventory, as you practice selling, as you build a wider audience, you add on things as you go. And the whole point is that you start making sales and you start building up those financial resources that you can then start to invest. And we'll talk about those investments next week. So let's go to the first category, which is tools to create. Now, it might seem like, well, this is obvious. I need yarn and I need a hook, right? But you also need a yarn needle to tuck in your ends. You need scissors, right? No using your teeth to cut your yarn. You need a measuring tape so you understand your gauge, right? We're checking gauge, right? And you need a notebook or a PDF design tool. If you are designing products, you need a notebook and you need some place that you can type in your pattern and create a PDF. So my favorite design tool is Canva. It's very easy to use for lay people. You don't need to have a graphics design degree or have extensive experience with tools like Adobe, Photoshop, or Illustrator, or any of those things. Simply go into Canva, create your PDF, and download it. So I find that that's my favorite resource for graphic design. And then you need someplace to store your products. So if you're anything like me, I live in the country, and we're always sort of battling mice around here, especially now in the wintertime. So all of my things have to be stored in mouse-proof bins. And, the benefit of those bins are that they also protect my designs and my products from dust, from water, from any sort of other debris, from smells, all of that. So having bins is a good investment to protect all your products. So that's my list of essentials for actually creating your products. You just have to have all of the things that are in the materials list for your patterns that you're using, a place to write things down, and a place to store your finished products. That's easy, right? So let's move on to the next category, which are tools for getting seen. Now, if you're selling online, you'll use one strategy. If you're selling offline, you'll use a different strategy. So we're going to talk about both of those. So online, all you need is a place to sell. And I do also suggest a website. So, having your own landing page to help your customers get to know you. So have an about page of who you are and how to contact you. It doesn't have to be a complex website, but just a landing place on the internet so that people can come check you out and be sure that you're legitimate, I think is really important. And that website could either have a shop on it. So if you build your website on Shopify or on Squarespace, and even on WordPress, if you have a WordPress site, you can add a shop using WooCommerce. So that's one option. Another option would be to have a website landing page plus some sort of e-commerce platform, which could be, if you're selling patterns, Ravelry, Etsy. If you're selling physical products, I prefer to start with Etsy, and then building your own shop. So you don't have to host the shop yourself. I actually don't recommend that. Some people like to go that route. I don't recommend it when you're first starting because Etsy or Ravelry bring you the customers, right? So I always liken it to setting up shop in a shopping mall where the customers are already hanging out and looking to buy, or setting up shop in the basement of your house where you then have to go out, find people, and bring them to yourself. They're not going to just kind of stumble upon you. So I really think that setting up shop on a e-commerce platform is best to begin. And while there are lots of naysayers out there who say Etsy take too much of your profits, I have found Etsy to be at least relatable to or less than the cost of selling physical products at a boutique or something like that. So depending on your pricing strategies and your relisting strategies, you can manage your Etsy fees that way. And I like to point out that a certain percentage of your sales going to someone who's bringing you sales is better than you keeping 100% of your $0 sales, right? Not making sales is worse than paying fees to Etsy. So I don't have a problem paying fees to Etsy. I encourage you to see them as a service that you're paying for. And it's not that expensive. Okay, so your shop. Next, your offline space to sell. If you're going to be selling offline, if you're going to be selling at craft fairs or boutiques or consignment shops, you need those places. You need to find those places where you're going to sell. Keep an eye out for contracts. Keep an eye out for, the expenses associated with selling in those places, commissions, your sales tax that you need to collect, those kinds of things. By the way, you also need all of your business licensing and all of that, which is talk to your small business administration close to where you live, and they'll help you with that. And then I recommend business cards if you're going to be selling in person, giving people a business card. I know it seems kind of out of date, but I like to do it because it keeps you in front of them. I have stacks of business cards everywhere, and I go through them and I connect with people, and I'm still a business card kind of person. You could always have a QR code that people can scan to then like you on social media or those kinds of things. So yes, I like business cards. I think they're essential. Next is an iPhone because you need to take photos. I recommend you need to take photos if you're selling online, but if you're selling offline, I do recommend you have photos as well, because those are going to go on your social media. Those are going to go on any printables that you create inside of your booth and those kinds of things. So I do recommend that you learn how to take photos of your products. I simply use my iPhone. You could use a more expensive camera, but it's not necessary. So we're talking about essentials. An essential is, it doesn't need to be an iPhone. It could be any camera with a phone with a camera. You need light, and that doesn't mean you need to spend money on professional lighting. Filtered sunlight is actually your best light source. So setting up a table in front of a window with filtered light, not direct light because you're going to get too many shadows, but just filtered light, and having a nice backdrop. Nothing too cluttered. You can get $1 piece of foam core from your local dollar store and use that as a backdrop. And that's a simple lighting setup that you could use. So those are your tools to get seen. Next is tools to take payment. So once you're seen and somebody decides they want to sell or buy, sorry, my brain is not working today. Somebody decides they want to buy, you need a way to take payment. Now, if you're online and you're using Etsy or you're using, one of any other e-commerce platforms, they'll have something set up for you. On Etsy, you take payment and they deposit it to your bank account. So you don't need anything else. But if you're selling on Ravelry, you have to have a PayPal account. Or if you're selling from your own website, you need to have a payment processor associated with that. And that might be PayPal, it might be Stripe. You could also set up a Square account. You can set up a shop on Square and have people purchase that way. And then Square will be connected to your bank account. So those are some online ways that you can take payment. And then there are offline ways to take payment. Square has a card reader that you can request from, I believe it's squareup.com, to get a card reader. And, you simply swipe cards at your booth when you're making sales. And I also recommend having some sort of secure cash box with your change so you can make change for people at your shop. And finally, tools to take payment is some sort of bookkeeping tool. So that could be a spreadsheet to start out with, or it could be something like QuickBooks or any other sort of bookkeeping platform. So those are your tools to take payment. And then finally, we have tools to stay connected. So once you make sales, you need to stay connected to those customers because it's easier to make a repeat customer than it is to get a new customer. So staying connected with existing customers is really important if you're going to build a sustainable crochet business. So there are different places you're going to do this. First is an email service provider. You could start a free account with MailChimp or with MailerLite, or I know ConvertKit, I believe, also has a free starter account so that you can set up your account, set up an opt-in form, and have people sign up. When I was selling at craft fairs, I would just have a form that people could sign up, and it said, sign up for my email list, and I'll let you know about future events, plus send promotional coupons to my subscribers only or something like that. And so even if people didn't buy, they were still signing up for my email list. So leave a little pen there, leave your business cards right next to that, and you're all set. So give them a place to sign up for your email list and then stay connected with them that way. Next is a social media account. I don't recommend you get a social media account on every single platform and overwhelm yourself when you're first starting out. I do recommend that you figure out who your target customer is and where they are hanging out. If you have an older audience, they'll typically be on Facebook. So Facebook is great for building a community, and then Instagram is a great place to share photos of the work that you're doing. So I really recommend Instagram and Facebook as your starter social media accounts, and then you can add on things after that. So get your social media accounts all set up and then build out a content calendar. And I do have a free resource for building your content calendar, so I'll leave that in the description of this video or in the show notes of the podcast for you. But building out a content calendar simply means that you have ideas for what you're going to be posting. And that way you keep yourself sort of on track and posting consistently. Consistency is really important with social media. Do as I say, not as I do. So I should stop saying that. But it just is the case with me. I have my fingers in too many pots and I have trouble with consistency. But consistency is important. It helps the social media platforms understand who you are and what you're about and who to share your content with. So the more consistent you are, the more they'll help you, with your reach and such. So building out a content calendar of, say I'm going to post 3 times a week. I'm going to post an image, then I'm going to post a reel, then I'm going to post an image. And then the topics that they're going to be about, you can even go as far as, scheduling out your what your images will be and pre-scheduling your reels and writing your captions and all of that and getting that all set up. There are resources where you can do that scheduling. You can do it right inside your Facebook Business Manager, which is free and easy to use, or you can use something like Metricool if you want to send it to multiple places. So those are just some ideas. And those are our 4 topics. So again, let me recap our 4 categories: tools for creating, tools for visibility, tools for selling, and then tools for staying connected. Those are the 4 categories, overarching categories I want you to think about as you're considering, either how to simplify your business. If you're like me, you've made everything overly complicated. So I'm in the process of paring things down and saying, does this thing that I'm paying for fit into one of these categories? And if it does, is it an essential, or is it something that I really want in my business and it's paying off, or is it just money that I'm throwing away? So asking those questions will help you to simplify your business. And just as a reminder, check our description or show notes for any recommended resources or downloads. I'll be adding those after we're done with the recording. So if you're watching live, they're not there right now. So I'll go add those when we're done. I'll go through the video and say, what did I talk about? And then just add links so that you can find those things down in the description. And then be sure to come back next week when I talk about the first things I'd invest in as a growing business owner. And then 2 goals that I would work toward. So they wouldn't be my first investments, but they would be my sort of goals of things I would want to invest in and things I would work toward. So that's what we're going to talk about next week. So do you have anything on your essentials list that I missed in this list? If so, leave them in the comments and I'll come back and check those. And do you have any questions? I'm going to go check the comments for those who are here with us live. Hello. People are saying hi. Let's see. Sarah says Etsy is annoyingly expensive, but that can be budgeted in with your prices, and Etsy search is still very solid. That's right. I agree. She said she's a few minutes behind. Okay, so let me know if there's anything that you think I forgot as I was brainstorming these topics this morning. And think about things that you would invest in as you first start your business, or things that you would recommend others invest in. And we'll talk about those next week. Next Monday at 9 a.m. Mountain Time, I will be back with that topic. So thank you so much for joining me this morning, and I will see you all next week. Take care. Bye.